If you're a working mother or mother-to-be who would like to strike a balance between caring for your family and succeeding in business, welcome to Mother Industrialist Live Show, where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. Kenneth Choo, the show host, brings in a different guest every episode to share how to perfectly balance parenting and work. Today, more than ever, you can choose to live life on your own terms, to craft a future for yourself and your family that is emotionally and financially rewarding. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, welcome to episode 48 of Mother Industrialist Live Show, that we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. I'm Kenneth Choo, the host and also the author of Mother Industrialist. So this is my book here, Mother Industrialist. And in my book itself, I've shared 15 mompreneurs story that I personally know. I know them for the past 10 years. And I've featured them and also to share their entrepreneurship stories with the readers, especially mothers who plan to start a business or aspire to be a mompreneur. And in the book itself, I've also used this 3 P's, which is called passion, purpose, and profit, to share with the audience or share with the readers that they can use this 3 P to kickstart their business. And today is not about me. Today is about this awesome lady I've connected with, and I'm really excited because I know that she's really busy. She's been flying around, and now finally I got her onto the show. And she's a speaker, she's an author, she's also a success coach and a mother of 2 beautiful children. So without further ado, let us welcome Pat. Hi, Pat.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making time to come onto my show. I know you're really busy, but I'm so glad that finally we got connected and got you onto the show. So before we kickstart with the show, there's always a tradition, which is every guest get to pose a question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So are you ready with the question of the day posted by the previous guest before we can officially kickstart with the show?
I am ready.
Okay, cool. So the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, if you were to describe your perfect day, how would it look like? Okay, so spend some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to see if we are live successfully, and I'll come back to you. Is that good?
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that's Facebook. Okay, I see. Okay, I hear myself. Okay, let me hear you. Okay, cool. I can hear your voice loud and clear. So, Pat, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day?
I am ready.
Okay, share it with us.
My perfect day. I'd wake up early, walk my puppy. I would be at my condo down in Myrtle Beach because I live down next to the ocean with an 8th floor condo. So I would get my exercise in the morning with my puppy. And then I would go out and play 18 holes on one of my favorite golf courses with my husband and have a lovely lunch out on the veranda with the sun shining and the palm trees. And then when I got back home, I would check my phone and realize that I just had another 2 more people sign up for my mastermind program. And because I live a life of time freedom, which means I have figured out the joy of not just trading time for money. So how to grow my business and serve other people even while I am living and enjoying my life too. So that would be a pretty awesome way to get the best of both worlds. And then we usually go take a dip in the ocean around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, have a nice dinner, maybe coach 1 or 2 people. It is about fitting in family fun, fitness, growing your finances, and having a fabulous career. So that would do it. Pretty simple, but pretty fun.
That sounds like a perfect day that a lot of mom will be aspire to, and that's why I'm so glad that I have you onto the show to share with us how like the topic of today is how to rock your strength to monetize your genius in business and life, and you have done it. So now we can officially kickstart with the show, Pat.
Yes, I have had my business 30 years, so I probably made every mistake, so you don't have to.
but you really look really young, because when I was going through your bio, I was like, oh, okay, you are
I'm
you
54
much,
years old, my dear
yeah,
friend.
you're much young, you look much younger than I thought the first time we met on Zoom. Yeah, so really really cool. And maybe before we now we can kick start with the show. So maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself. Where are you from, and how do you start into this entrepreneurship, or how do you start going into coaching, and what are the things that happens that make you step out of your comfort zone and really move into entrepreneurship? Maybe you can introduce yourself, Pat.
Sure. Well, there's a lot you just asked for, but okay, I'll take it, break it down a little bit for you.
Yes,
So,
it's your
Pat
time.
Roque, I am a Jersey girl at heart. I live in northern New Jersey and also Myrtle Beach. So, I split my time now between the two, which is kind of wonderful. I have been married 26
Wow.
years to my
I still
husband,
have a long way to
Alex,
go.
who is a CFO, finance guy, a golfer, and he's really fun. And I have two now grown children. My son, my baby, is a senior at Monmouth University
Mm.
studying video film communication. And my daughter is in her third year of graduate school, on her way to next year working up at Mount Sinai in New York for a doctorate in audiology.
Mm.
So, and my puppy, I rescued a little puppy last year.
Wow.
So this is the easy side of it in some weird way.
Mm.
Life is not when things go great, it doesn't stay at the top forever. And when it hits the bottom, it doesn't stay there forever. It's more
Mm.
like an ocean, like a web and an
Yeah.
ebb and flow. So when I was in college, I used to find really cool jobs and then go to the dean and say, do you want me in class, or can I go take this job and I'll come back and share the case study? And they always said yes. So I was very successful at a really young age. I used to have 3 jobs all through college, and
Wow.
one of them hired me after work, and I was running millions of dollars in PR and marketing business at the age of 22.
Mm.
And by the time I turned 24, things were going great. And I had a car accident on a sunny
Oh.
Saturday afternoon, right after Thanksgiving, with my mom in the car. And this was back in 1987. So people didn't wear seatbelts.
Mm.
They were like shoved under the seat at the time. And so I went through the windshield, didn't hurt my face, but I had a major concussion. So I went from being super successful to sleepwalking and falling
Wow.
downstairs and a brain injury and all that. So I started as an entrepreneur because I wasn't well enough to work, quite
Mm.
frankly. And my boss said to me, we love you, but we know you're not going to sit behind a desk. So hang a shingle, I'll throw you work, and we love you. We'll make this happen. So
Mm.
I started in a virtual home office in a bedroom in my parents' house
Mm.
30 years ago.
Wow.
And then started dating my husband, married, the 2 kids, life is perfect. And then my second child, my youngest Stephen, at 13 months got bacterial meningitis, slipped in a coma right before
Mm.
Christmas, and almost died.
Wow.
So a parent's worst nightmare. And I know you have a lot of working women, working moms trying to figure out, how do I get it all done? Well,
Yeah.
I went from super successful, independent, single woman
Mm.
to mom with a special needs child facing a whole slew of things that there is no roadmap for.
Mm.
And what that gives you is incredible clarity, because he was supposed to be dead,
Mm.
deaf, crippled, blind. I mean, it was really bad. I have to
Yeah.
tell you, it's the absolute worst day of my life.
Mm.
And but he lived, and then he got a little better. So I spent the first 10 years of his life in therapy with him, 7 days a week, then 6, then 5, then
Wow.
4, countdown
Mm.
until he was mainstreamed.
Mm.
And we were very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And when he
Love that.
was 11 years old, they kicked him out of special ed, and they tested him, and he tested with the intelligence of a 22-year-old.
Wow.
So we have a child who is the size of a college man, the intelligence of a 22-year-old,
Mm.
in puberty, with this, with the communication skills of a 7 or 8-year-old. So it was a very strange combination.
Unbelievable.
And we put him in Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and I became a Cub Scout mom because I needed a way to interact where I was supposed to be, so I didn't look like a weirdo, because he couldn't do regular play dates.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm telling you all this because I ran a successful business
Mm.
as an entrepreneur And I was very transparent with people. I was very, very clear on, this is what I expect. This is what I'm going to deliver. And this is what I'm going to do when life hits the fan. And I think being trustworthy and authentic are two traits that carry through no matter what. I never had an unpaid bill. My clients used to come and bring my kids toys and walk my dog and clean dog poop. And it was amazing. And you learn who your friends are, and you learn what your gifts are, and you learn what your value is. And I kept clients for 5, 8, 10, 12 years. It was crazy in all the chaos. So when you think you can't, you can, no matter how crazy it gets, when you're motivated, because the work was part of my sanity, right? It was my chance to be, I don't know if there is such a thing as normal, but it was as close to normal as I could come. So when he finally mainstreamed, I went back and got a master's degree at 40.
Wow.
My husband and I together, we here's a lesson. You need 2 sets of books. We got 1 set of books thinking that was fine, and that was probably the one thing we were going to kill each other over. But we did our master's thesis on the benefits of working virtually, how to kick butt working from home. And I became a global spokesperson for the university and a media expert on virtual teams. Worked in pharma and had real jobs for about 10 years. But I learned I wasn't really great at it. I was performance-wise great. But I always wanted to push the envelope and think outside the box. I really had to pay attention, because it was the hardest thing I had to do, not because I couldn't perform, because I would blow through my goals and be up on the stage getting the Rookie of the Year award. That part was easy, but I knew that I had, I think, more of the virtual team and the entrepreneurship burning inside of me. And then I got a phone call one day, and I was in the parking lot on a Friday afternoon when you're supposed to have off. And it was my boss's boss saying, "We love you, but we just lost our funding. So thanks a lot. Keep your laptop. Don't come in Monday. No severance, no vacation. We love you. God bless. Goodbye." And I was 50.
Wow.
And in the middle of menopause. So I was having the ultimate meltdown. So I had 2 kids about to go to college. I was making buckets of money, and it all went away in one phone call. And I started taking some medication to feel better, and it gave me suicidal tendencies. And one day I said out loud, I should just throw myself off a bridge. Nobody would care. And when I said the words out loud, I scared myself. I thought, that's not me, and that's not cool. And this officially is rock bottom. And so I had to find a way to dig out from the bottom of the well. And so while I was figuring that out, my best friend on my 50th birthday, which was in March, dug in the snow, got 50 rocks, painted them gold, and put 50 things that are special about me in this magical box. And the inside of the box, I don't know if you can see it, it says 50 rocks, and so do you.
Wow. Nice.
And in the box, it says things like talkative and best friend and supportive.
It's all about you.
And all these wonderful things, plays golf. All these wonderful things. And so I started blogging 1 rock at a time on LinkedIn about why I was grateful, and that life wasn't so bad, and I wasn't so bad, and nothing was so bad. And I got myself healthy, and I figured out how to get better and healthier myself and to come back from the brink. And I couldn't think about it 5 years or 10 years down the road, because that was too much. So I thought about it in 90-day chunks. Where do I want to be 1 year from now? And then how do I break it down into 90-day chunks? And then I started writing it down. And then I realized other people were having the same problem I was. So I wrote this book, Rock on Success.
I saw that.
90-day fast action planner, because I figured I can't be the only one having this midlife meltdown and needing a career transformation. And now they call me the Rockstar Transformation Coach, because I help you channel your inner rock star. It's not about me being the rock star. It's about me helping you figure out why you rock, what your gifts to the world are, because there's people out there waiting for you that need to hear your message. And I was at a workshop recently, and the gentleman said, "Your mess is your message." Isn't that good?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I took my mess and I created a system, and then realized why don't I share that and see if I can help some other people? And it has blossomed into this amazing, incredible, and very, very rewarding new
That,
chapter.
that's a very amazing introduction, and it basically covers everything that I want to ask you. But like so far, you are the only one that had done such awesome introduction of yourself. Basically, you cover everything in short. Yeah, like for me, I would have spent like a few hours explaining my whole life journey, especially for you. I find that what's amazing for your life is there's a lot of possibility. Like listening to your stories, listening to your journey, basically it shows me that life there's a lot of possibility as long as you believe that you can achieve a lot of things. Like you were extremely at the top and you just went all the way down, and with a friend, with I believe that this friend is really someone with a big heart and believe in you so much that she can write like 50 um, positive things about you, about who you are. I feel that if I have such a friend and he or she is writing such things about me, I would feel that hey, my life there's more to my life, and it's time for me to empower others, and that's what you're doing, and that I just cannot explain that because when you were sharing all the adversity that you have went through, especially as a mother, as a parent, I felt it the challenge. Like most of us, we have like normal child, normal kid. We have a lot of challenges along the way because parenting there's no guidebook, there's no menu, there's no step by step. There's a lot of things that we do not have, and we are learning along the way. And every parent, every child is different. So like
Right.
if if it work for you, it may not work for me. So every parent have to figure out, and you have figured it out, and you have even documented it, and even for your life, and what are about the 5 rocks, and maybe you can share more about your book, like this 90 action planner. What is the end game from it for it, like within this 90 in a nutshell?
So what I've learned is that people felt, I know I did.
Hmm.
I would get up in the morning, take a shower, get dressed, get on the bus, head to New York, then head to Long Island. It was crazy. I was spending 4 and 5 hours commuting some days, which is insane.
Yeah.
And I literally, by the time I got home, I would taste vomit at the back of my throat. I felt so unhappy. I was missing my family.
Hmm.
I was disconnected from the very thing, the very why, the reason I was going to work in the first place.
Hmm.
Right? So people sometimes feel like they're selling their soul or losing their mind just to pay the mortgage, put a roof over their head, or buy groceries, or let their kids go to schools, right? The finest schools,
Correct.
or even any school if that matter. So I decided that we deserve to honor all 5 facets of a brilliant life: family,
Hmm.
fun, fitness,
Hmm.
better finances, and a
Hmm.
fabulous career.
Wow.
And that my gift is helping people figure out why they rock, what their strengths are, and how to get paid well doing what they love.
Hmm.
So I took this book and I broke it down into simple terms. I sat one day and just put my hands on the keyboard, and a meditation just flowed out of me. And so
Wow.
it starts, I encourage you to start each day and end each day with an abundance and gratitude meditation, or whatever your flavor of reflection is.
Hmm.
I wrote one for you if it helps, but I wanted to remind you that we deserve to stop and to breathe and to show gratitude every single day,
Yep.
because no matter how crappy or upset we might be or what happens,
Hmm.
there's always someone with it worse.
Yep.
And it will always get better. And some days will be worse. I mean, it is just, again, it's
Yep.
not a guarantee.
Yep.
Every day that you wake up breathing is a new opportunity, right? That's a
Yep.
gift. So to start each day with gratitude. So I started with a bunch of the reflection tools, like the focus and clarity quiz, just to help people kind of get grounded and figure out what their most important things are and where they're shortchanging themselves in their life.
Hmm.
You know, are you making a lot of money and so unhealthy? Sometimes money can't buy your health back,
All right.
right?
Yep.
So are you making sure you make time for all the things and all the people that are important? It's about who are your 100 people you want to see over the next 90 days? How do you get organized? How do you rock your health? People have used the program to lose weight, to make new friends, to grow their business, to change careers. I work with a lot of people who are trying to figure out what's this next chapter like. And as a working mom, I can tell you that gets even more complicated. So the front of the book are a lot of little worksheets like that, very reflective. And then it literally digs in, and it is actually a 90-day planner where you can sit and snuggle up in your bed next to a fireplace on my beach chair. You can flip it in my golf bag, or you can put it in your purse or leave it by your nightstand. But to take pen to paper, because Big Brother can't track this. One of the things people seem to complain about is that there's so much going on with technology that you feel like Big Brother's watching everything we do. Right?
Yeah.
You walk in and it asks you if you want to order the same thing you ordered last time. How do they know what you ordered? Or how do they know where you are? Like, you're being tracked everywhere now. And so this is a little bit old school, but it's a great way to just contemplate and reflect. So make sure you only pick 2 priorities a day. Don't try to do 20 things. You'll never get them done. But if you pick 2 and then you have kind of your backup list, it's easier. Or how to, what I call reverse engineer, which means start with the end in mind. So right now, 90 days from now is pretty much the first week of the new year, if you're watching this live, right? So how do I want to feel about my health a year, going into 2019? How do I want to feel about my relationships with family and friends? What am I doing for fun? Am I fitting fun in, or am I having too much fun and not getting the other stuff done? What am I doing to save for the future? What am I doing to invest in myself now? Am I happy? Am I satisfied? Am I contributing? So am I keeping it all together? And here's the trick. You ready for the number 1 secret?
Yes.
As a mom, I'm going to be the first to tell you work-life balance is BS. You know why? Because if you think about when the kids are on a playground, have you ever taken your child to the playground and or when you were a kid, the teeter-totter or the seesaw, whatever you called it, right?
Seesaw.
It's only level for a split second, isn't it? It's usually your hair's flying up and down, but it's not really level very long. That's the shortest part of the journey, is when it's actually level. So stop pushing for work-life balance, because it's almost this elusive, impossible thing. It's fleeting. Work-life integration to me means I want you to be present here now. We're present together, right? This is all that matters. The dog's taken care of. My husband's in bed. Like, everybody's where they need to be. And we're present in the moment. When I'm on the golf course, I am there having fun, taking in the air. I look up, I see the blue sky, and then the top of the trees and the fairway, and there's quiet, and there's nowhere else you're supposed to shut your phone off, and nobody's allowed to bother you. It is the most peaceful, beautiful thing. So be present where you are, be grateful where you're at, and just pay attention and chunk your time so that you do not neglect your health. Like, I have to put on my calendar for grocery shopping and food prep, because if I don't plan early in the week, I just had to talk. Coaches have coaches, right? So I just got off a Zoom with my coach about my nutrition and where was I struggling, what was working well. I lost 5 pounds last week. Woohoo! But it's not always easy. So choose the days I'm going to be off track and allow myself to just enjoy them, and then get back on track. It's not perfect balance. It's almost never exactly even. It's a matter of being grateful and being present. And appreciative for where you're at now, and do the best you can here. And then when I shut that and go on to the next thing, I'm there. And that to me was the big aha. I stopped beating myself up over everywhere I wasn't, or everything I was not. I just was grateful for what we are, right?
Correct. And you have just touched on something that I always in my show I always talk about it. Like although my book I talk about perfectly balanced between motherhood and business, but what you say is true, is to integrate that in business and motherhood together. At the same time, is to be 100% present. to be in whatever that you do, because a lot of working moms especially, they are so caught up with, hey, I need to do a lot of things. They feel that they need to multitask. But the most effective thing that especially a lot of successful people are sharing is to be focused on the thing and also be 100%. Like you mentioned, like every day you just need to do two important things and just do it good, do it effective, and being productive, and the rest is just on your waiting list and our backup list. And it's very very important, and you have shared a lot of golden nuggets. I wish I can really write down the things and notes and stuff like that to really get all the golden nuggets down. And I'm also curious that, like, everyone have their strength. Like, today's topic is how to rock your strength to monetize your genius in business and life. So, like for me, how do I know what is my strength? How do I discover the strength? How can you advise one that do not know what are their strengths?
There's two ways to do it.
Hmm.
One is a really fun exercise I'm going to teach you. I thought everybody did this. Apparently they don't. So I'm going to share something that I've done as a practice, and it will be a game changer, hopefully, for you and for your viewers.
Thanks a lot.
Sometimes when I ask people why you rock, what's special about you, they get tongue-tied and they don't know what to say.
Yep.
So I created an exercise where you go in and find all of the thank you notes
Wow.
that people have sent you. If you are old school and you have printed cards, I have a cabinet up here filled with awards. You can, if they're printed, take a picture and upload it to a You Rock folder. I create a You Rock folder, right? It's like you're at a girl, good job, good guy, Ken, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
If it's electronic, print out a hard copy. And if it's something paper or an award, take a picture and put the electronic picture up in the folder. So you have a permanent library, electronic and paper, of your best you. But the magic comes in if you can sit and spend a little bit of time and take, especially on the electronic ones, you can cut and paste, highlight the phrases that really resonate for you. How are people telling you you're great in their words? And what will happen, I promise you, is you will start to make a list of that separately. You will start to see patterns over and over and over of the words that they use to describe how you made them feel, why they trust you, why they can sleep better at night knowing that you have their back because ... You know, and they're all different depending on who we are and how we serve. But if you think about it, other people's words, and especially over time. Now, I could go back in 1985 and see some of my my accolades from then, and some of the language they use is the exact same language somebody used last month, because we are who we are, right? But it helps you understand the context in which the world sees you. Then go out and get some recommendations on LinkedIn. I'm all about helping people build their LinkedIn profile, because that's the one place on the professional side. I do a lot of business to business. I work with professionals. That is my favorite social media real estate because of who I serve. So have those recommendations there, because it's so much easier, excuse me, for them to see it in your words than for me to say, oh, I'm awesome and I do this and I do that. That sounds gross and cheesy and bragging, right? It doesn't sound very good. But if you see over and over people speaking that way about you, it's authentic, it's from the heart, and there is definitely a flavor, a vibe that you give off. Excuse me.
No problem.
Does that make sense? So that's one of the most street smart practical things you can do, and we can all do it, and you should, because you'll then have that document forever.
Yep.
It'll help you forever. And then the other thing, I created a program. It's called Rock Your Strength, and I take a combination of my tool set, my proprietary tool set, and I use some different online assessments. And I actually, one of them has the data of 20 million people who've taken the same test. And I have you go through that, and then we do a 90-minute coaching session and go through why you rock, which also tells you about your sweet spot and your blind spots.
Yep.
How to stay out of your own way. Because here's the magic. Ready? And working moms are the worst. We beat ourselves up the most, I do believe.
Yep.
Just saying, I think we do. We're not supposed to be good at everything, but our collective team should be. So we need to honor those pieces of us that are best and to forgive ourselves for the things we're not great at and stop wasting so much time beating ourselves up for those pieces where we should be delegating or collaborating anyway.
All right.
We're not supposed to all be good at everything.
Yep.
That comes to if you're the good cook, or you're the good dishwasher, or you're the good reservation maker, or you're the good runner through ShopRite, or you're the good guy who carries the groceries in and unpacks the bag. They all contribute to eating at some point, but we're not all good, right, at all of those things.
Yep.
It gets done. Baby's not starving. Everybody's good, you know, right? You have to kind of give yourself a break. And so I do a lot of helping people figure out why you rock and what your gifts are. And then what do you do to monetize it? And here's the one thing I learned. When I had my company, the first 20 years of my business, I got really successful really fast. I was very, very busy. And I did a lot with events and product launches and things. So I'd work all day and then I'd work all night and then I'd work on the weekend. And I realized I was trading time for money.
Yep.
Right? Work an hour, make $1.
What
or
most people do.
Yeah. Guess what? That stinks. I'm done. I'm over that. So I vowed that if I ever reinvented myself, which happened, I would make sure that I had multiple revenue streams, that I would learn to be better at time freedom management, making sure that I had time, because it is the only thing we can't get back. My brother died of cancer last year at age 56, which is horrible. And I was his primary caregiver for healthcare. And so I spent a lot of time off the grid. I did a lot of working, you know, in the hospital on my laptop, sitting bedside with him. And I'm grateful for the time that I was able to keep going in my career. And I was grateful for the lesson of knowing that that was most important. You can't get that back, right? So I teach people how to figure out their gift. And sometimes it's a matter of teaching people how to create an online course. Even, here's a good example. One of our relatives is great at crafts and stuff. And she does stuff with gardening, like an ABC alphabet garden, and teaches kids how to, this sounds funny, but like for little kids, right? The alphabet and how to grow plants and nurture and tie it all together. I'm like, we should make an online course for that, because I'm sure people around the world would love to be able to do this at home, or teach it to their families, or teach it in their school systems.
All right.
Do once, use many. So I do a lot with helping people build sales funnels or teach online courses, because even if it's a side hustle, like my health coach, she's one of my corporate clients. She's in corporate communications during the day for a Big 4 firm. But she's a mom of 2 kids. She's a fitness bodybuilder, competitive champion bodybuilder. But she felt compelled to teach other working, busy moms how to be healthy. I'm going to introduce you, as a matter of fact, because you should have her on your show.
Yes, definitely.
I thought about that today, right? But the point is, so we taught her how to create a system so she could still share her education and her knowledge with busy moms like me. And still be able to get it all done. And so her 11-year-old daughter is, I think, 11. Her 11-year-old daughter will come on and she'll help test the recipes, or she'll help her set the camera up for Facebook Live, or she'll, you know, be doing a review of spices in your cabinet, whatever it is. But so she'll get her 11-year-old to come on and support her. It's great. It's really, really fun. But now she'll have additional revenue stream. She's very fulfilled, right? Satisfied.
All right.
It kind of really works. So it's just another way for you to know that you have gifts and figure out what you're supposed to do with them, because I promise you that the world is waiting for you. The world needs what you have to share. And it's your obligation to figure out, how are we going to get it out there? Because there are people whose lives are waiting to be changed by you and whatever you do. And I don't care if you're the construction oversight manager, or you're the chef in the school cafeteria, or you're the nurse, you know, whoever. We all have different gifts, but the world is waiting. So I love trying to help people figure out what can I do, because I try to help give kids their moms back.
That's very important.
It's fun. It means a lot.
When they are doing things that they love and they're contributing, they get back the time, they get back the life, and the kids are the one that has been deprived of that, and now they, because of their life transformed, like what you do, like the example that you shared with a friend, and once they have that all in, they are balanced, they feel good, and they become better mom, and everything is fulfilled financially, the time, and if they would want to jump into their side hustle full time, they can do that. If they want to put away the job that they dread of going into, they can always jump into the side hustle that they want. And this is why Mother Industrialist is created with mompreneurs like you to share all these gifts that you have and how you discover your gift, and also to allow the mothers who want a better way out to discover they themselves they have the gift. Like you help this mom to be able to find ways and means to monetize, and creating a coaching system or program or tutorial, be able to have a system for them with or without them being there. And this is all possible because of internet and technology. And that's why for me, in every show, even in my book, in my speaking gigs, I always share that now, although entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but every mother should have a shot at it because of internet and technology. Anything is possible. Like for you, you have already helped a lot of mothers, a lot of women to be able to monetize their strength and to discover their genius. And it's all possible because you have been through all that, and you have coaches that help you along the way, that guide you along the way to unleash that. And now you're paying it forward because this is what. And I like the part where you say that everybody has a gift, which is something that a lot of modern working moms, they lost that gift. In fact, every one of us have that gift. Even for me, I spent a long time to discover that gift. And like I've been sharing with you that today is episode 48 of the show. I've been doing it for a year. I've never imagined that I could do something so consistently and also for a long period of time. And because of the gift that someone had told me about it, and you shared about the thank you notes and all that stuff, I began to remember that when because there's some like volunteering workshop that we went to, and we were supposed to write on the note that what do you feel about this person, what is the goodness, what's the positive thing that this person is giving to you in this, maybe this 2-day workshop. And when you talk about a thank you note, it kind of bring me back to the little notes that the message that they put it out. So, and now I realize, hey, that was what I am back then, and now I'm executing what I was made for, like connecting people together, connecting mothers together to be able to empower, to let mother being inspired by other moms. So this is I'm basically a connector. My gift is to connect people together and to have this platform. Yeah. So it's very very important, and we are almost coming to the end of the show, and really a lot of golden nuggets from you, Pat, and really wish to have more of your golden nuggets, your inspiring stories, and maybe you can share with the audience, especially those who are still on live, coming still watching us. Maybe you can share with them how they can get connected with you.
That's great. I would be happy to. So you can reach me via email, Pat, my first name, P-A-T, at rockonsuccess.com. That's ROCKON success, SUCCESS.com. And if you go into my academy, rockonsuccess.com/academy, you will see I have about 7 or 8 courses. There's free trials and a whole bunch of them. You can get a free digital download of my book. You can get a free LinkedIn profile checklist. There's a LinkedIn course in there, and you can get a 10-point tune-up free checklist to get you started. There's also a free Rock Your Online course for Thinkific, and I will gift anybody, any of your show followers, a free 1-month business plan trial of Thinkific if you'd like to get started. So you can get a free trial of the program and the free training.
Wow.
And if you need help with your strength or anything else, I'm certainly happy to help you one-on-one or in a group or in my mastermind. That's my favorite thing I do.
Wow, that's a lot of gift for us and also for those who are tuning in, especially now we still having people coming in. We have Martin, we have Gina, we have a few more. Yeah. So thanks for the gift, Pat, and also for those who want to connect with Pat, I've already included her links in the description. And for those who want to get connected with her, you can just go to a link or email her. And last but not least, Pat, now it's your turn for you to post the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So are you ready with your question of the day?
I am. Mine is easy.
Yeah, share it with us.
What is your superpower? Tell me why you rock.
What is your superpower?
Tell me why you rock. And I'll give you a hint. If you're not sure, what would your best friend, coworker, your mom, why would they tell me you rock? Because some people get stuck when you ask them that question directly about themselves.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then I would frame it as, why would your favorite client tell me you rock? Or, right? Or if you don't yet have one, why would your family tell me you rock?
Wow.
So
that's
you can put it in the context, but I want you to start appreciating your gifts to the world because that's the first step towards sharing them.
Wow, that's cool. So the question of the day posted by Pat is, what is your superpower? And tell me why you rock. Okay, so I will post the question of the day in the comment section. So would love for you guys who's coming on live, who's watching the replay, to post your answer in the comment section so that me and Pat will be very, very happy to read about it and to hear from you. What is your answer to her question of the day, which is, what is your superpower? And tell me why you rock. So thanks a lot, Pat. And any last advice for the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their passion or they should step into entrepreneurship? Any last advice for the moms?
Yes. Momentum brings freedom, right?
Wow.
You need to get focus brings freedom. So getting clear is the first step toward getting started.
Yep.
And the single best thing I ever did was I got advice from someone who'd been there before me so that I could fail faster, run faster. And so you are never alone.
Yeah.
Reach out to a mentor, a friend, hire a coach, do what you need to do to get out of your own head, because we're sometimes our own worst enemy. We beat ourselves up about what we can't.
Yeah.
Find the smartest person you can find, someone that you feel like you get me and I get you, because it's got to be that magic, that connection,
chemistry.
right? So if you can find somebody and say, I really like him or I really trust her, let them help you, because it's so much more fun and it's so much more productive to lock arms and think out loud together about what you should do. You can be up and running in 90 days or less if you want to. Some people need to choose, and their choice will be that it's not the right time or it's not the right choice, or because not making a choice is a choice, right?
Yep.
Stagnation is also a choice.
Yep.
But what do they say? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years from 20 years ago, and the second best day to plant a tree is today.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you are thinking it's time, and you know what I always say, once the genie pops out of the bottle, you can't stuff her back inside. So when you start hearing that voice saying, it's time, I should be doing this, I should be doing it, where almost every day that pops in your head, that usually means it's time.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do about it? Find someone to help you. Don't struggle alone, because you'll just be much slower. Fail faster. It might sound silly, but it makes a lot of sense. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Pat, for your great advice and a lot of golden nuggets and inspiring story, especially hearing from your adversity, and now you're empowering lots and lots of women. So thanks a lot for making time to come onto my show, and thanks for those who are watching, listening, and tuning in live. Thanks a lot for watching Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. And thanks a lot. Kenneth here signing off with Pat, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pat, for coming on live.
Thank you. Bye,
and
everybody.
I'll see you soon.
God bless.
See you. Bye
Have a great
bye.
day.
Thanks, Pat.
Bye.
See you guys in the next episode. Bye.